Hello everyone, this is the peaceful revolutionary Sylvain-Rochon. I'm doing something a little bit special today because usually I do these once a week, but honestly I can't wait until the weekend. In the light of the attacks on the terrorist attack in Paris, I just have to add my voice here. Like really, and maybe this is not what you can expect from me. I'm not sure. Those of you who just joined the channel not long ago, I am revolutionary. I think things a little bit sideways, a little bit differently. But honestly, while I was feeling a lot of sympathy for the people of Paris living in fear now, because and other places in the world, frankly, because the Islamic State could strike any country, in particular countries that are participating in trying to bomb them. I can't help but feeling that we're somehow missing the point in general, reading in the news and whatnot. Terrorism, a lot of countries are against terrorism. Well, everybody's against terrorism. But they're fighting with arms and bombs and all these things, terrorism, and they're hunting them, which is, I guess it makes sense. What we seem to forget is where terrorism starts, and the source of it. Like, we'd love terrorism and the killing to go away, but I just feel we're going about it in a very, very wrong way. In a way that will actually escalate more terrorism and create more insecurity for ourselves and everybody else. Because terrorism, like, where does it come from, really? It comes from desperation, people feeling oppressed. It comes from also, from the extremist point of view, people that are fanatical, that do enact terrorism, that act on it. People that are somehow indoctrinated into thinking that dying for a cause is a good thing, and at least dying by killing other people, innocents, is a good thing, which is not. I mean, dying to save someone, I think that's cool, but dying to kill others, especially innocents in particular, that's terrible. But in some parts of the world, some religions, some groups, it's part of the ideology or part of the writing, scriptures, whatever. And some people that are in extremes in those societies and those that are connected to those groups or regions are in a position, if they are, their backs to the wall, in a situation where they feel a strong oppression, or they feel like they can do something to save others or to save themselves somehow, they will act in very, very violent ways. Now, you can't do a whole lot about fanatism or being a fanatic, or limiting that, aside from education, which takes a while. And that's something that's regional. It has to be like where these indoctrinations actually occur. Information must be made available. But the oppression and the feeling of being, having their backs to the wall, that's something that is actually the responsibility of the West in those specific cases with the Islamic State, for instance, and others. And I'm going to explain myself here. I mean, how many times is our military in the Middle East being violent? How many people did our militaries kill in the course of action, in the course of doing what our governments thought was a good thing? Or more importantly, and most people that are following the channel probably would agree, for oil, money, power, for other reasons that are not in line with what we want as a population. We want to feel safe. We want to feel secure. We want everybody on the planet to be happy and content and safe. Why are we accepting our governments sending militaries overseas for reasons as anything that is anything else than peaceful means, or peaceful reasons to defend the weak? For example. And we're responsible. we are responsible for electing individuals, for supporting actions, and not voicing our outrage whenever something like that happens. Because each time we send a bomb in a less fortunate country, and we are killing civilians, and we're destroying businesses, and we're destroying ways of life, or even without having the bombs, we're trying to influence their politicians or their politics. We're trying to put our own politicians in place that will be favorable to us in the West, for example. How many examples of that have we seen? How many times have we read the news and thought, this is bullshit? Why are we there, really? We have great ideas. We're told great ideals, great intentions when things start off, and we sign off on it. We say, green light, yeah, let's go to Afghanistan, let's go to wherever it is. We're going to do a great thing, and our people are going to go there. And the military is all enthusiastic because these are people too. We're going to save people, they tell themselves. We're going to do some good. And when the dust settles, we realize it's all bullshit. It's all for power, money, oil, posturing, and all these things that us as a population, we don't care and we shouldn't. And we're still supporting these organizations. We're not doing anything significant to prevent other acts of oppression, because that's what generates terrorism. You know, if all you had was very little, and you had a strong country like the US as an example, of France, coming to your doorstep dropping bombs on your neighbors, and you're smart, you get a little bit of news, and you figure, hey, they're doing this for what? You know, they get to the same conclusions. They're doing this because of the oil, because of all these things. Why are they here? I mean, what would you do? Would you cry out? Would you complain? Yeah. Who's hearing you? Who's listening? The fanatics are. They are a part of that community, and they decide to do something about it. And they're gathering followers. And what our governments are doing now after this weekend's attacks, where they're gathering their strength and going back in, creating more martyrs, more terrorists, strengthening them. This is not a country with borders that we're trying to make capitulate, where we can, find the leader and if he says surrender, everybody's going to surrender. No, these are small pockets. These are small groups in multiple countries. They're not in a single state. They're everywhere, and they are growing in strength because we keep attacking and we keep destroying. Why don't we just stop? Just stop attacking. Let's stop being violent. And maybe they'll stop being violent with us. So let's stop the support. I just saw a video by Russell Brand. He speaks out a little bit like I do, very strongly. So I'm putting the link below so you guys can check it out, as well as my blog, where I have other lessons, some other links from articles that I pulled out that describe things a little bit in a slightly different way, but in a way that I agree to and I think is very correct. And you can check those out and get the facts. Don't believe me. Just look around and check it out for yourself. What's going on? We should be like Gandhi. Social resistance. This is not violence. And the most successful overthrow of the most powerful empire of the time, which was England at the time, in India, was done by social resistance. No violence. People were violent against them, against Gandhi and his supporters. They were. The English, because they were frustrated, because they wouldn't do what they were supposed to be doing under the English rule. They disobeyed, but non-violently. Eventually, there was so many of them that did that the English had to leave. They had to stop whatever they were doing. And they left. They left them alone. As citizens of the West, and the East, and the Middle East, we should all stop supporting any violence defensive, offensive, any violence whatsoever, everywhere. Let's all be Gandhis. Refuse to support it. And don't support governments and organizations that also support it. Don't support them either. Boycott everything that is for violence of any kind. Terrorism will go away and we'll feel safe. And we'll be in a place on the planet that is generally safer because we have less guns and less things going around. So that would be my message for you all who are listening, hopefully. I know this video may not be very popular, but this is my personal blog. So you can think whatever you want. Share it, talk about it, discuss it. Don't ignore it. Peace out, people.